Daf Samach Zayin Amud Beis will begin at Daf Samach Zayin Amud Aleph, 4 lines from the bottom at the 2 dots. Lo Yahaya Megil Amachzis Zahar. So the Mishnah said that the Sarah Mishlech wouldn't even reach halfway down the mountain until it was torn from limb to limb. Ivoido, we have a shaila. Oisan Evorim. The Sarah Mishlech, the goat was pushed down the mountain. It became dismembered. Those Evorim, Oisan Aver Ma Hein Behano. Is it mutter bahano or is it also bahano? Rav Ushmuel Chadam Mutar. One says it's mutter, Chadam Asurim. The other one says that it's also. Man Damar Mutam. The one that says it's mutter, Dechsiv Bamidbar. The Torah says Bamidbar. So the Torah says V'nosa Asara Love is called V'nosa Meleretz Gezerah V'shilach Es Asara Bamidbar. It says Hamidbar. And actually, it says it in 3 places. Another pasuk says, "Vasara sha'alav v'gorla asal yamarchav v'shemachapelav l'shalech oisal azazal hamidbarim." And a 3rd pasuk says that it's to make the vidui, and v'nosan oisam al rosh hasor v'shilach v'yad ish ite hamidbara. It says it actually 3 times. So we'll see in the Gemara. We'll see shortly why we have the 3 drushes. But al kol it says midbar, which it's not necessary to say, and therefore it teaches us that it is in the midbar like it's a midbar. It's hefker like the midbar, that therefore it's mutter, just like something that has hefker is mutter. This is mutter. Oman Damar Asurim, the one that says it's also Dechsiv Gzeira. It says that he takes it to a land of Gzeira, a land of Gzeira. So we darshan it to mean that Gzeira, El Eretz Gzeira, to mean a land that there is a Gzeira on it, that there is an Isser on it. Now this Gzeira, again, also it's not necessary to teach me that, because I know Gzeira means that an uninhabited land. So he takes it into the midbar, it's an uninhabited land. So the word Gzeira itself would not be needed. So we darshan it, therefore, to teach me it's a Gzeira. Meaning it's a land where there's a Gzeira, where there's an Isser, where there's a Chumrah, whether it's also Behana. The one that says that it's also, what does he darshan with the midbar? What is it needed? Why do we need the midbar? And what does it come to teach us? So in fact, the Tosfos Rishonim says that the one that says midbar, that he says it's muter bahana. Now, one could ask, why do we need a pasuk to say that it's muter bahana? We have a klal, generally speaking, we have a rule that it's also. So this is nasas mitzvah. The mitzvah that was done with it was to push it off the cliff. It was done, so it should be muter. Why do I need a limud to tell me that it's muter? So he says, because otherwise I would have learned that Gzeira, I would have learned that Gzeira teaches me Isser. So he says, therefore, the midbar teaches me that it's muter. However, the one who says that it's also, what is he darshan with the word midbar? The more answers me, midbar, it says it 3 times. So that's l'rabas naif v'givan v'shiloi v'esalom. That's to include that these areas, Naivin Givan, Shiloi, and the Beis HaMikdash, that this is what's to be done, and this avodah is to be done in these 3 places. Naivin Givan is considered 1, Shiloi, Beis HaLomim, that in these 3 places, this avodah should be done in these 3 places. V'idach, Hai Gzeira, my Ovid that the one who says that it's muter. So what do you learn out from Gzeira? What is Gzeira coming to teach us? Boy, look at the Sanya, Gzeira and Gzeira elachatucha. Gzeira means to be geyser, to cut. It means that it's cut sharply, meaning it's a cliff. It's pushed off, not a rolling mountain. It's a sharp cliff. Davar acher and Gzeira el davar hamez gazer v'yared. Something that is cut up and it falls. So meaning it's the Eretz Gzeira, the land of the cut-up goat. It's the area, the land where the goat is pushed off the cliff, it gets cut up. It's the land of the cut-up goat. It's a gzeir, meaning it's a decree. It's a gzeir. Shema Taimer Masatayo. Maybe you'll say that this is Masatayo. It's an empty act of pushing off a cliff. Talmud Leimer Ani Hashem Gzarti. I am Hashem, I made Gzera, ve'en lecha reshus lahar b'hen. And therefore you have no reshus to be maharer to question, it's Xera. And it's Xera, and therefore, even though we don't understand it, it's Xera from the Rebbeinu Shalom. Amar Rav, Mustaber Command, Amar Mutarim, he says, Mustaber, the one says that it's Mutar. Why is that? Because the Torah would not have said and give us a mitzvah to send it off the cliff to create a takola, to create a possible mishap, a stumbling block for a person. A person might come across it and think that it's mutar. The Torah would not put a situation where a person would become lidei amichshol. Don Rabbanon Azazel, we darshan the word Azazel. We darshan as Azazel she'oz v'kasha. Azazel is comprised of two words, oz and el. It means that it should be harsh and rugged. Oz Azazel. It's oz, harsh, and strong. So it's rugged. That's the way the mountain should be. It should be a strong, rugged mountain. So Yochel Yishuv, you might think that it's in a place where it's in a populated place where there's a Yishuv where people live there. Where it's in the wilderness. How do you know it's a cliff, that you push it off a cliff, that it's not a rolling mountain but a cliff? It says Xera means cut sharply, a cliff. So the mountain has to be a steep cliff. It has to be a rocky, strong, rugged cliff, not a rolling mountain which has soft earth on it. Tanya Yidach, this Brisa learns it in the same way. Azazel is kasher shebaharim. It should be a rugged mountain. And we see this context, this word, the meaning of this word in the following pasuk. It says that he took the strong ones, the mighty ones of the land. So you see, El is strong. It's the Ele Haaretz Lokaf. That's a pasuk in Yecheskel that says that the strong ones of the land were taken away. The pasuk says, "Vikach mizera melucha vichas itay bris vayave oisai ba'olaves Ele Haaretz Lokaf." He took the strong ones, the mighty ones of the land were taken away. Tanad Rav Yishmael. Azazel, he darshans the word Azazel, shemechaper al masa uza va'azoel. It comes to be mechaper for the avera of Gilui Arayis. That was the Ma'aseh Azazel, uza va'azazel. So it's a combination of those two names. Those were the Malochi Abola that went down to the land V'bimei Nama in the time of Nama Achais Tuval Kain. The pasuk says, "Vayiru b'nei Elokim es b'nei Adam." They were committed arayas. So it's the mechaper, the sar mishtalech, the mechaper for the avera of arayas. Ton Rabbanon es mishpatai ta'asu. The void says you should keep my mishpatim. What are mishpatim? Devorim mishil malay nechtu denushi yakasu. Those are things that we understand with our seichel. That even if they weren't written, we would understand that these things are prohibited. All of these things we would know. We would know that you can't do that. They're also to do and murder, stealing, and cursing. And it says also chukais. What's a chayik? That's Dvorim Mishal Sultan Meshavlim. Those are the things that the Sultan, he starts up with it, he challenges us with it. He says, why are you keeping these things? These are things that we don't really understand. We don't have a real understanding of them. Veiluhain, Achilas Chazer, Levisha Shatnitz, V'chalitzas Yavam, V'taras Mitzayra, V'sorim Ishtaleach. These types of things we don't really understand. These things are things that we don't really have an understanding of them. So maybe you'll think, well, there's no explanation for them, and therefore they're meaningless, they're empty. I decreed this, and you have no reshus to be mahara, to question them. They're coming from Hashem. It's interesting that in the list of the chayk over here, it mentions this list, and it doesn't mention the classic one on the list, which is Pora Aduma. Which is the one that is the prototype of a chayk, which is most frequently mentioned as something which we don't understand. But perhaps they mentions these lists because these are things that are more common, and paraduma, it's performed very rarely, and it's not performed by the masses. It's performed by the kahanim. It's not performed by the masses. So therefore, perhaps it mentions these that the choik that are more common and are done by the masses, and they'll be more likely to question them. So coming back to the Mishnah says, when did the clothes become tomei? So Rosh Shimon says, from the time he pushes it to the bottom of the cliff. The one who's meshalech, he sends out the azazel, his clothes become tomei. But the one who sends the meshalech, the one who's sending it, meaning the people who accompany the ish iti, the mishalech, their clothes are not tomei. The clothes of their clothes do not become tomei. Now, so it's the clothes of the ish iti, the mishalech. You might think as soon as he leaves the walls of the azor, it becomes tomei right away. He says, means a mishalech, mean it has to be that it's on its way. It has to be that it's already on its way to Azazel, not when it just leaves the Chaim Hazor. So, if you say Darshan Mishaleach, you might think it's not Mitam Begonim until he reaches the cliff. And it says, and the one who sends it has a vote. So that's mashma that marba is something even earlier than coming to the cliff. Rav Yehuda says, once it leaves the Chemes Yerushalayim, it's out, leaving the city. It's out of the city. It's on its way to the Azazel. Rav Yossi Azazel v'kibes. We darshan the smichos of Azazel v'kibes. Ache Yilatzuk, it has to come to the cliff. It has to arrive at the cliff. Rabbi Shimon Omer, it says the one that sends it to the Azazel, he has to wash his clothes. He throws it headlong, head first, he throws it down. And then his clothes become tomei. So according to Rabbi Shimon, the way he learns it is that the pushing it off, that is the shiluach. The shiluach, when we refer to the shiluach, is pushing it off the cliff. And that's when his clothes become tomei. Zok the Mishnah, Bola Eitzel Par V'Sora Nisrofim. The Kohen Gadol comes to the par and the Sora Nisrofim. Meaning, you have the par, where he took the dam is makabel, the dam of the par, he did the hazois, and the Sora Lashem, he did the hazois. So these are chatois. Normally chatois and murim are burnt on the mizbeach, the basar is nechal l'zichrei kahuna, but over here, the murim are burnt on the mizbeach, but the basar is burnt to chus l'machna. So what happens here? He comes to the parvasor and Nisrofim, so he koran vaitzes mureim. He's already done the shchita, he's done the kabbalah and hazos. Now he tears them open and he removes the murim which are to be burnt on the mizbeach. Nesana b'magis v'aktir magam mizbeach. He puts them in a bowl and burns them on the mizbeach. Then, kolon b'makla b'miklois, he takes the limbs of the soyer, the par and the soyer, he intertwines them both together and braids them, takes the limbs and braids them to braids. Then they put them on poles, and 4 kohanim, side by side, 4 kohanim take them out. Vayisilu beis hasreifa, and they take it out to the outside of Yerushalayim, to the beis hasreifa, where they are going to be burnt. Where the people who take out the parvasor to be burnt, the clothes also become tomei. When do they become tomei? When they leave the chutz chametz ha'azor, not the chametz shalom, chutz ha'azor. Rav Shimon Omer mishiyatzis ha'ur beruban. He says no. When the fire catches hold of the majority of the limbs, that's when the clothes become tomei. Do you burn it? Do we burn it right now? Is this the time to be burnt? This is not the time to be burnt. The Mishnah says, which is mashma that at this juncture is when they're burnt. But they're not burnt at this juncture, they're burnt later on. They're burned after the still has avoidance that have to be done, There's avodas to be done with the Aitzas Kafamachta, and there's the avodas that have to be done. He reads the parsha, does the Eloi ve'Elohim, and he does Aitzas Kafamachta, and then he does the Musafim. Afterwards, so it's after all of these procedures, that's when he burns it on the Mizbeach. Ella, the Gemara says, Ella, what the Pshat is, Ella ema lahaktiran ala gam Mizbeach. It's not that he's maktir it, not vehiktiran, but he puts it in the bowl, lehaktiran, to burn it on the Mizbeach when the proper time is to burn it on the proper time. Kolan b'meklois, he intertwines the avorm of the sor and the par, amar v'yechan, like a braid.